So hello everybody, today we have an editing video, a Lightroom editing video. So we are going to learn how to create a fade in a picture. So there's been so many people that have seen Instagram pictures and they see this fade that is just like so distinct to some styles on Instagram. They're like, how do I do that, right? So today I'm going to show you how to do it. It's very simple. You just gotta have Lightroom, have a good picture with good lighting. It can't be like super dark, super bright, and just good ears. Just listen. Okay, so we're on my Lightroom right now. So let's just pick any picture right here and I'll reset it and then show you how I put the fade on it. Okay, so let's go to develop and let's go down here and click reset. Just reset the whole picture. Okay, so this is how it was before. And so what I'm gonna do first is I always like to crop it right to 4:5, which is what Instagram pictures, the maximum height and width that Instagram pictures can be. So I like to crop my picture first. So I pick a good crop and I click enter, and then I just adjust some quick things first before we go into the fade. Just put some exposure there. All right, that's good enough to show you guys the fade. So how you do the fade is all in the tone curve, which is this thing right here. And it's this line that for many people is like super scary to touch. Like you don't want to touch it because you're afraid you can mess it up. But it's actually so useful. It allows you to create your own style. It allows you to create awesome effects in the picture. And it's really easy to use actually. So I'm going to show you how to use it. So right here, what I do and what I tell people to do in the beginning, so you can start learning the tone curve, is to make three dots on it. And the way to do 3 dots on it is to click, just click on it anywhere. So I'm gonna click down here, 1 dot there. I'm gonna click once in the middle too, and once here on the top. And see, I put the dots right on the corners of these squares. So I put in this square, right in the smack middle here, and on the corner top right of this square right here. As you can see in the back, there's a square there. So how you do this fade is you gotta work with the bottom, this bottom. So you put another dot right in the middle, just click it. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna bring the middle one up a little bit like that. See some changes in the picture, but that's not the final product. And then you click and hold the bottom too and pull that up. Did you see that? Look at that. It just makes the shadows so smooth and the blacks just so creamy that it's just so beautiful. It looks dreamy. It looks dreamy. That's what I think about it. When I look at this picture, it's like, that's a dreamy feel when I put that fade in. And it's so simple. It's basically just the bottom of this tone curve. I made 3 dots and then I put 1 in the middle of the bottom 2, pull that up, and then pull the bottom one up too. So see, it almost looks, it's like a little curve at the bottom like that. You just need that little curve at the bottom. And then just create a little bit more contrast with the fade is I click and hold on the top right one, this one, and I pull it up a little bit, just a little bit. And what that does is that it brings out the whites in the picture, the most highlighted parts in the picture. The reason why tweaking the bottom in the tone curve changes the blacks and the shadows is because the bottom here in the tone curve is all about changing the exposure of the blacks, and in the top of the tone curve on the top right, it's all about changing the exposure of the brightest parts in the picture. So as you can see, I put the brightness up a little bit on the bottom, and that's what made the fade, because it's putting more light into the shadows and taking out the really rough dark spots that just create really an even picture. And it's not that pretty to look at, but when you bring those blacks up, it makes it all smooth and nice. That's why when I move the top on the right, that top right there, it changed the whites, because those are the brightest, like the waterfall, because those are the brightest parts of the image. So as you can see, that almost created like an S type of curve like that, and that's very common with the tone curve. People that use the tone curve normally just go for this shape a lot. I like to do some things to the middle too. I like bring it up a little bit sometimes, but you can bring it down, just puts more contrast in the widest parts. But I like to bring the middle up, because that's really the mid, the place in the picture that are not too bright and not too dark. So I move that just a little bit up, just to get a little bit more, to make the middles a little bit more smooth, like that, That looks pretty good. And if I hit the backslash key on my keyboard, I can see before and after, like that. And you see, look at those blacks on the top left right there, on the top right too, and the bottom right. You see how all these blacks are super, just really, I don't know, they're rough. It makes the image really kind of confusing in a sense. If you look too much in those areas, there's a lot of detail there, and just to create that more smooth feel, if I click backslash again, it shows after. You see, look at those spots, they just got smoothed out, and now there's this dreamy feel. It almost feels like this is coming straight out of some dream or some fantasy, I don't know. Look at that. And so the tone curve, there's so many more awesome things you can do with the tone curve. I would say to start off here, if you right click on the tone curve anywhere here, you can click on flatten curve and it brings it back to normal, like that. I would say to start experimenting with tone curve, I would make the 3 dots, one here, top right of the bottom square, one in the middle like that, and one the top right there, bottom left of the top square. So just work with it. Remember, the top here is working mostly with the brightest parts of the image, and the bottom left here is working mostly with the darkest parts of the image. So look at this. If I pull this right here up, you see how it makes those whites really pop a little bit too much, because it's putting more brightness into those parts. So I'm gonna put it back, and now the bottom here, I put this up. See, it's bringing more light into the darkest parts. If I push it down, it's making those darkest parts darker. And let's do the extremes up here. It's really you can't put them up anymore, the really brightest parts, but you can put it down a little bit. You see here on the top, this part right here, that's the brightest part of the image. And if I pull the top here on the tone curve down, it's affecting that. See, it's making it darker. So if there's a really bright part in the image where it's just bothering you so much and just sticking out like it's like really annoying, you can bring it down by just using the top here. Just bring it down. That's good. And then of course the bottom, you can make it darker, you can make it lighter. That makes it fade, but it's just not a very nice fade. To make it a smooth fade, I put one in the middle here, that, and pull this up like this, and then it's very smooth. It's a very smooth line. You can see if you do any radical movements, it just makes the picture kind of ugly. So just try to make your moves very smooth, so you have a smooth shape. Whatever shape you pick for your tone curve, you have a really smooth shape, and then it'll create a very smooth image. So that's how you do the fade. I know that I, for the longest time, was wondering how to do it, and I didn't really find a YouTube video that explained it just straight up how to do a fade, like an Instagram fade, because that's kind of what it is really. You see it a lot on Instagram nowadays, that fade of the, to create a smooth image, the fade of the darkest parts. So I showed it here to you guys. Again, flatten tone curve. If you want to delete on the tone curve just one dot, you just right click on that dot and you just click delete control point, and it deletes that. Yeah, so 3 dots is good to start with. Just try 3 dots, play around with it. Remember, the top half is for the whitest parts, the bottom half is for the darkest parts. And the tone curve can be so nice because it gives you so much flexibility to create your own style. Basically, you can create a style that's distinctively yours just with the tone curve, because there's so much you can do with it. You can add more points on the tone curve. You can make bigger moves. Don't do like crazy ones, but you can make bigger moves on the dots, and you can just create a style that's yours. And that's how you can make a theme on your Instagram page like that, because all your pictures have this distinct style. If you apply the tone curve, your same tone curve on each of your pictures, you can create a distinct style that then makes your whole profile really nice and smooth, and creates a theme that people look at as like, oh yeah, that picture was taken by him. That picture was taken by you, because of that style that they see right away, because of your specific distinct tone curve. So that's all. I will be making more videos on how to edit pictures, so be sure to subscribe and like this video if you enjoy this. Definitely I'll be making more. I'll be making other stuff on how other settings, and how to, if you like a style of a specific Instagrammer that you want me to show on a video how to replicate, just put it down in the comments. You can just basically comment any Instagrammer and I'll try my best, and I'll show you how they achieve that style in their theme. If you really like him, I can show you how they did it. So make sure you comment and subscribe, like this video, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Now it's clear. Again, go out and try it for yourself. Try the tone curve and see what style you come up with. Experiment around with it. It's so much fun. You can do so many things with it. And I hope you enjoy this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye guys.